Welcome to another episode of Mindful Molly with me, your host, Molly Kaluve, where we discuss all matters spirituality and personal development with the aim of becoming better versions of ourselves every day, a space where none are judged and all are welcome. So on today's episode, we will be talking about how to stop being somebody and how to embrace truly being yourself to develop a deeper connection with yourself. So with that being said, today's affirmations are: the world wants me to be myself. I strive to be my better self. I want real connections, so I be my real self. I don't need everyone to like me. With that being said, let's get right into today's episode. So on today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about being somebody. And what I mean by being somebody is that from birth, we enter this cycle of becoming somebody or being somebody. Our parents, stick on these labels onto us and, sometimes even have our whole lives planned out, the school they want us to go to, sometimes even the career they want you to do. They have this image of what their perfect child could be sometimes. And if it's not our parents that have those type of ideas or concepts or expectations of us, society has them. If you're born of a certain class, then society's expectation for you is that you'll either remain there or have to be that one break, that's one in a million break that made it. See, now at first we don't really fall into this cycle. Because as a little kid, what tends to happen is that you live your life so freely, actually being your true self, because you don't understand, the quote-unquote rules of this world yet. You don't understand these labels, these ideas or concepts of what you're supposed to be are yet. So all you know how to do is literally just be you. But now as you grow older, what happens is that you start being molded by other people, by the people around you, into becoming somebody totally different. You're molded into becoming this ideal human being or this person that, just has things figured out or, simply lives the type of life they expect you to live. Now at that point, you've become somebody. You're no longer your true self. You're no longer who you are truly destined to be. Instead, you're just somebody that people created. And this is what happens to a lot of us. And as a result of that, because this season's theme is connections, what happened is that the connection that suffers the most, and which leads to the rest of your connection suffering, is the connection that you have with yourself. Now what happens is you reach the point where you're this totally different person. And internally, like deep down in your subconscious, you know that that's not truly you. But it's what you've been taught to be. It's how you've been taught to behave. It's what you've been taught to believe. And therefore, you can't connect with your true self. You reach this point of feeling very disconnected, and that's what a lot of us experience. And personally, that's what I had experienced, is feeling very disconnected. You try doing different things that you thought you liked or you thought you loved simply because other people told you you'd love it or other people told you you'd like it. And for a little bit it feels great, it feels amazing, everybody is celebrating you, but deep down, like, you just feel like something is missing. Now personally, I discovered for myself that the thing that was missing was my connection with myself. I had learned how to be this other person that I didn't know how to be myself anymore. And sadly, that is the case for a lot of us. We spend a lot of time, we spend a lot of energy just, growing and becoming this new person. And then halfway into life, you reach that point where you're like, wait, I don't even know what I'm doing. It's not that you're not even doing things right, because you could be living the most amazing life ever, have everything that people would have dreamed for you, but it's not what you truly dream for yourself. And now you're in that space of feeling like, I don't know, I'm not happy with this. I'm not content with this. And that's because we don't spend enough time with ourselves. We spend a lot of time being told or being congratulated or being told, what needs to be achieved to make other people happy, or, to fulfill the needs of society, that we're not taught how to fulfill our own needs. We spend so much time trying to make everybody else happy, but we don't focus on making ourselves happy. We don't focus on what makes us, wake up in the morning, what gives us the energy to keep on going. We're kind of conditioned to be these robots or these duplicates, really, to fulfill our different roles in society. That athletes go on to be athletes just because you were athletic or you had an athletic build, or because you were good at it. The people who are much better at certain things, they go do that just because they may have been better at it. But just because you're better at something does not necessarily mean that that's what you're destined for. And what I mean by that is that I'm personally very athletic. And for the longest time, I thought that I would go play basketball in college or something. Like, I just thought that I would continue that and make a career out of it, because everybody used to celebrate me for it. They used to be like, oh my gosh, wow, amazing, like, you're doing a great job, this is really your thing. And I started to believe that. So I created this fake passion that people had placed onto me, and I thought that was my path. But then I started to take more time to connect with myself. I started to take more time to understand myself and understand what I truly wanted, what I truly desired. And when I started to understand that a lot better and see that on a higher level and really start to connect myself, what happened is I started to unlearn what I was taught to be. I was slowly unlearning all these societal labels and ripping them off myself slowly by slowly, until today I'm still doing it, to the point where I felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. Now, a lot of people are scared of reaching that point, but when I reached that point, it was the most liberating feeling ever, because I started to realize, like, wow, like, that was just baggage. Like, those were just like name tags and ideas that really weren't my own. And then because I did that, I started to really discover who I was. Who I was before I was taught to be a certain way. I started really connecting with my deeper self. Now, the thing about like connecting with your deeper self, and this is what I'm going to be talking about this season, like the importance of diving deeper into connecting with yourself and also connecting with others, is that it literally starts to open so many paths to so many more meaningful relationships, and builds a different sense of self-confidence, where you don't seek validation from other people anymore. You no longer have to sit around waiting for other people to celebrate you or congratulate you. I'm not gonna, say you're terrible for having to sit around to do that, but it's because that's what we've been taught to do. For the longest time, we've been taught to wait for people to celebrate us. For the longest time, we've been taught to please other people and not please ourselves. But when I started to, just derobe that and really dive into connecting with myself, I started to realize, like, this is what pleases me. And when I started to figure out what pleases me, what I truly desire, like just connecting with myself on a different level outside of whatever society was telling me to be or not to be, to do or not to do, I started to gain this type of self-confidence that started to attract better people into my life. Because of that self-confidence and that self-assurance, I no longer seek validation for other people. If I want to do something, I'll do it. If I want to say something, I'll say it, because I'm not really concerned about, will other people accept me for this? it's now like, as long as I'm content with this, because I'm not this person that society created, I'm okay with it. So with that being said, it's like, start focusing on who you are beyond your name, beyond your age, beyond what other people are telling you, beyond what other people are not telling you. Start to think about who you are beyond the materialistic labels that this world gives us, that we hold on to and grasp onto so much. And the more I thought about it, I came across this video by Bob Proctor, amazing, and he was talking about who are you. And when you ask somebody, he was talking about how when you ask somebody like, hey, what's your name, or who are you, they'll be like, oh, I'm Molly, I'm this age, I like this color, and all of that. And then he said that's not who you are. And that's the truth. We identify so much with labels. We identify so much with like our names, when we don't realize we didn't even give ourselves those names. Those were given to us. Your name is not you. You're so much more than that. And when you start to realize it, when you tap into that power within you, you start to realize a whole bunch of different things about yourself. It's literally like getting to know a brand new person. But it's a beautiful journey, and it's a great journey that literally builds you to a point where the only person that could ever break you down from that place is you. Nobody no longer has the power to harm you or to make you doubt yourself anymore, because it's all coming from you. So with that being said, guys, take time to connect with yourself. Take time to love yourself better. Take time to step away from society, step away from what everybody else is telling you to be, and truly discover what you want for yourself and who you truly are. So as usual, be kind, be compassionate, be loving, be caring, and most of all, take care.